Let's move on with the next clip from the series, which is building the Nano Server. I know I have a lot of videos related to the Nano Server, but as this is the official release of Windows 2016, I want to create another video which is going to be part of the series and part of the training. Hello friends, this is Nick, this is NLB Solutions. This is part 3 of the series in configuring and installing Windows Server 2016. And in this video I'm going to talk about the Nano Server and building the Nano Server. So I've made a lot of videos related to the Nano Server installation, configuration and so on, but as this is a part of the learning process, we need to add this to the series that I'm building on Windows Server 2016 as well. So I'm going to try this to make it as fast as possible. So let's dig in. I have a client machine and a domain controller that I've already installed, and if you want to see how to install the domain controller, you can check the first 2 clips of the series, which is building the server and installing the domain controller. On my client virtual machine, I've installed Hyper-V Manager, the Hyper-V feature, so that I'll be able to power on the bad boy Nano Server on here, and we'll try to configure everything basically from here. So the next thing that I did is I've attached the Windows Server 2016 CD, the installation media, and in here I have the Nano Server folder with all the packages, the image and the Nano Server image generator, which are the scripts that I'm going to use and need in order for me to configure my Nano Server. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called Nano on my client machine, and we'll paste the 3 scripts in here. The next thing I want to do is I want to open a PowerShell as administrator, and in here I would need to import the module for the Nano Server, which is the Nano Server image generator PSM1. So in order for me to achieve this, I need to do import module and then specify the location of the module. So it's Nano Server, not PSD1 but PSM. Press enter, and now that I have the module, I need to continue with the creation of the Nano Server, which is going to be done by a script once again. So the script is new Nano Server image, then specify the edition, which is going to be standard. I have the data center edition available as well, but for this video I'm going to create the standard. The media path, I want to specify the path where my Windows Server 2016 media is currently mounted, which is D. So I'm going to specify D. And then the base path, which is going to create a temporary location for my Nano Server to store its files before configuring the final VHD X that I'm going to use. So I'm going to specify the path to be C Nano, and then I want to specify the target path, which is going to configure my VHDX file for my Nano Server that later I'm going to attach to my Hyper-V. So I'm going to specify C Nano, and then I need to specify the name of the VHDX file that I want to be created. So I'm going to name it NLB Nano 01.vhdx, and you need to add the extension as well. So the deployment type is going to be guest, And what this means is that the Nano server will be used as a virtual machine. So this one will add additional drivers so the Nano server can run as a virtual machine. The computer name is going to be NLB Nano 01. And storage, I want the storage packages to be installed, and another package which is going to be my IIS package, because I want to test my server and see if it's going to be a good IIS application server. So the package is called Microsoft Nano Server IIS package. And this is pretty much all of the components that I need to configure the VHDX. So let's press enter and see what will happen. I need to specify an administrator password. Press enter. And this password you need to remember because it's going to be used for logging locally to your Nano server. So this process will start configuring the virtual disk. And if I go to C Nano, I will see that I have a lot of folders being created in here that are temporary folders and are going to be used by the base path to configure my Nano server image. So I'm going to pause the video until this operation completes fully, and then we're going to proceed with mounting the Nano server to my Hyper-V. So the script finished successfully, and of course you can see that there is a log currently residing under logs, and in there you can witness the whole process and how it configured your Nano server VHDX file. So this is the VHDX file, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, create a new folder in here, NLB Nano 01, and paste the VHDX file in here. So now that we have the virtual machine, I will have to virtual disk, I will have to create a virtual machine for it, and I'm going to continue by creating that. But first I want to create an external virtual switch to my Hyper-V, because I want my Nano server to be able to connect to other servers in my domain. So I'm going to configure that. It will take a few seconds to apply the changes because it's going to basically recreate my local area connection that I have, and it's going to share that with my Hyper-V, so I can share that with my virtual machines. Now that I've reconnected to my client virtual machine, I'm going to create my Nano server, and I'll be able to add the new virtual switch that I've created. So first I will need to add the name of the server. I want to specify a different location where to store the virtual machine files. I want to create the virtual machine as generation 2 because I had few problems with generation 1 in the past booting a Nano server. So I'm going to create a generation 2 and leave the startup memory at 1 GB. Use the new Nano server network that I've created, and on this page, instead of creating a new virtual disk, I will have to connect an existing virtual disk. And this is the disk that we've created previously. So I'm going to click finish. It's going to configure my virtual machine, and after the process is complete, I can connect and power on the virtual machine to see what will happen after that. So let's see if my Nano server is fully available for me to use. Okay, I can see that I see the old view of the Nano server console, that in general you need to know that you don't have to work with it a lot. As far as I can see, you will have to do an initial configuration with this one and then leave it or work with it remotely. Okay, so I'm going to use the administrator account and the password that I've specified while creating the image, And in here I have the networking, inbound, outbound fire rules, and the Windows remote management that is enabled by default. Right on the top you can see that I have the work group, the name, the date and time, and the operating system. So I'm going to enter the network settings of my Nano server, and I'm going to press F11 to edit the IPv4 settings, and I'm going to assign a static IP address. So in order for me to do this, I need to press F4, press tab, and then specify the IP address that I want to assign to my Nano server, which is going to be 192.168.1.170. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway is 192.168.1.254. Okay, I need to press enter to save. Press enter once again. The operation succeeded, so my Nano server should be available on the network. So let's switch to my domain controller and test my theory. One other thing that I need to do just before switching to my domain controller is I want to allow the inbound file rules to allow the file and printer sharing settings. So in order for me to do this, I need to go to the inbound settings, press enter, and it's currently disabled. So if I press F4, I will enable that. Press enter to escape, and do this for all the file and sharing settings. Okay. 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 Okay, so this should be done, and my Nano server should be available now on the network. Now that I'm on my domain controller, I can open a file explorer and specify the path 192.168.1.170 and open the administrator shares on my Nano server, and there it is. This is basically the Nano server that I've just created. So in order for me to proceed with the next step, I will have to open a PowerShell. And in general, my next step is going to be to join my Nano server to my domain. So you have two options to configure this. One option is by going into the script and adding the domain in there, or if you want, you can do an offline domain join with the djoin option, and this is going to create a blob file that I'm going to present to my Nano server on a later state. So in order for me to create the offline domain join blob file, I need to do this on my domain controller and write the command djoin.exe, provision, and then domain, specify the domain nlblab.com, then the machine, and this is going to be nlbnano01, and then save file and save the location of the file, which is going to be C odj blob, and press enter. So the computer provisioning completed successfully, and if I go to my C partition on my domain controller, I will see that I have the odj blob file in here. So the next step I want to do is I want to connect remotely using PowerShell remote to my Nano server, and then execute this odj blob file on the Nano server. So let's start by adding an exception to my set item to my domain controller so that it can allow the remote connection to my Nano server, and you can achieve this by adding this one to the trusted hosts and add the IP 192.168.1.70.170 to my trusted hosts, and press enter. I want to save the configuration, yes, and then I can set a variable for my IP for my Nano Server 192.168.1.170. Press enter, and I'm going to connect by using the command enter PowerShell session, and then you need to specify the computer name you want to connect to, which is going to be my variable. That's the IP of the Nano Server, and the credential, and add the variable once again IP administrator, because I'm going to use a local account to connect to my Nano Server. Specify the password for my local account and wait for the PowerShell session to finish. Before that, I will need to copy this ODJ blob file to my Nano Server so we can execute this locally. Okay, there it is, and I'm now connected to the Nano Server. So the command that I want to use, and in order for me to join the Nano Server to the domain, is djoin, and then request ODJ, and then I made a typo. Okay, request ODJ, load file, and specify the file, which is ODJ blob, and then Windows path, and specify the path of the Windows local, and then local OS. Press enter, and the operation completed successfully. So in order for you to confirm that your Nano Server is in your domain, you have to do a restart. So I'm going to restart my Nano Server right now, and I'm going to use to see that I've lost connection to it, and I will have to wait for a few more moments, and after that we can just confirm that my Nano Server is able to I'm able to connect to my Nano Server using my domain administrator credentials instead of using the local ones. So the domain administrator, and specify NLB lab, and press enter. And now you can see that instead of having a workgroup as a domain, I have nlblab.com as a domain. So I confirm that my Nano Server is part of my domain at the moment. So as a last demonstration step, I want to test the functionality of my Nano Server IIS, and in order for me to achieve this, what I have to do is I'm going to create a text document, and in this text document I want to add, let me just add this h1, and then welcome to Windows Nano Server 2016, and close the brackets. Okay, H1. Okay, and I will need to save the file on the desktop, and I want to save it as default HTML. Okay, so now that I have the default HTML file, which is going to be my web page, I'm going to copy the web page and paste it on the root directory of the IIS on the Nano Server. And this time, instead of using the IP address, I'm going to use the name of the Nano Server, and then once again open the administrator network share, go to inetpub, and then www.root, and paste the default file in here. So the next step, I want to open an Internet Explorer, and then in here I want to open HTTP only, and NLB Nano 01. And when I open the web page, I confirm that I see the web page and my Nano IIS server is fully operational and working fine. So this is the demonstration of how you can configure, install the new Nano server, and how you can play around with it. Thank you very much for viewing. If you like the video, you can always subscribe to my channel, you can always share the videos, you can always comment if you have any questions, and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. Once again, this was Nick from NLB Solutions. See you in the next video of the series.